Hello, it's Veronica here. And I just wanted to show the variation among my Storm Twins dolls. So starting this video off, here we have Veronica Main and her doppelgangers. I have my mitten box sets out today so we can compare them too. So these are the faces on all of my Veronica dolls. I'm sure you can tell how they're slightly different. How some of them may have thicker eyeliner, or how some of them may have more pastel looking makeup than the others. How one of them has much longer bangs and much more apparent freckles. Yeah, her freckles just seem extra thick compared to her many doppelgangers. It's very unique. It's very different. And as for the variations with how glued on the gum is, you're gonna have some Veronicas where you're really gonna struggle to remove her gum, and you're gonna have other Veronicas where the gum will come out really easily and it's barely glued on. When I first got her gum wasn't even glued on very much at all. There was only a tiny bit of glue. I'm sure you can tell where on her lip it was glued on. If you ever noticed the part of the paint on her lower lip that isn't as strong as the rest of the pink in her lip color. But yeah, that's where her gum was kind of barely even glued on. And it came out really easily. When I first got this doll, I was surprised by how easily her gum came out. And now she just doesn't even wear it. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced the gum piece breaking separately. This is the state of her gum and why she doesn't wear it. I cannot force this thing into her mouth for the life of me because of that. And the way I always interpreted her gum breaking was her communicating with me that she didn't want to wear it. And I always respected her wishes. If she doesn't want to wear her gum, I'm not going to make her. But yeah, the gum on my other two Veronicas is not broken like that. She gets to wear her gum sometimes. And I do make her wear the headband, but sometimes it falls off her. Yeah, normally I have her on the shelf on display, so. And then Veronica Triple is she's my restyle baby, I swear. I love just styling this doll, dressing her up in little cosplays. She is so adorable. And this hair, it's so pretty for styling. But something else I want to note with her hair, too, and the hair on both of them, in fact, is that first batch releases of the Storm Twins have thicker hair. I am serious on this one. Their first batch releases do have thicker hair. Because whenever I take their hair down to wash it and all that, her hair takes longer to do than theirs. I don't know if it's because she has if her bangs are longer, but her pigtail thickness. These pigtails are so thick. Look at how thick these ponytails are. And I'm sure you can see with these two how with the positioning of the rubber bands, even their ponytails probably aren't as thick as this. I may insert pictures old pictures I have of Enemy Main in the box later on, but they have the thickest hair out of all my Torn Twins dolls. Even if you compare Naomi to her doppelgangers. I know her hair is in a ponytail, but it doesn't have the same thickness as hers. And then this is my out-of-box Naomi with her hair down. She's really pretty. But this is the hair comparison that I feel really shows how thick Enemy Main's hair is. And keep in mind that Naomi Main's hair is partially in an updo here. So not all of it is hanging down her back. That is the volume of Naomi Triple's hair, which is all down and hanging down her back, with Naomi Main's hair, which is partially styled up and only half down. Do you see what I'm talking about here? This doll has volumes of hair. Like, whenever I'm doing their hair or giving them their hair washing day, it takes me longer to do their hair than some of my other dolls because it's just so thick and beautiful, and I don't ever want to mess it up. Like, it's so pretty. Like, it's just insanely thick. And I feel like I talked about the Veronicas more, so let's talk about Naomi. So Naomi is the other Storm twin who isn't Veronica. And like Veronica, I have 5 of her too. Takes forever to stand them, but yeah, I have them stood up again, and it's... And with her, the variation isn't as obvious. Yeah, you're gonna have the eyeliner thing again. But, like, a lot of times her makeup colors are just more the same. You're not gonna find variation among those colors. Even though her makeup does seem to be slightly lighter purple than hers, or maybe hers are just a little darker. But let's look at all their lip colors then. Yeah, her lip color is also a little lighter, like NMV, like Veronica Main, which is definitely interesting. Like, look at the difference between those shades. It's slight, but it's there. Even the way the glitter is applied in her eyeshadow, it's just sometimes you're gonna get thinner lines than other times. And other times it's gonna be a little thicker. But the big thing with the Naomi's, I feel like it really is the eyebrows and the hairline at times. What do I mean with her eyebrows? Well, the angles can be slightly different at times. Like, look at Naomi Main's eyebrows. Honey, let me pull back your hair a bit. Yeah, there's her brows. Notice how they're a little higher up. They're a little gentler. And then look at how arched her brows are by comparison. Like, those brows aren't as high up. They're a bit more arched. And her eyebrows are also a bit more arched than hers. Like, her face just looks gentle next to the others. Much like Veronica Main's face does. And Veronica Main also has this eyebrow thing going on. Because, like, there is her face without her bangs. in the way. Like, yeah, her headband isn't cooperating right now, but there is this slightly lower brows of one of her doppelgangers. And then her brows are also a little bit lower, and it's like Envy Main have higher brows, and it's obvious. They're just positioned a little higher, a little differently. And now let's get a look at the doppelgangers. Because this is where the variation gets interesting. So I'm sure you know that I got my original set of Storm Twins like around only 2 weeks after they were like first released. So yeah, I got them on June 9th, 2022. So these two are like a first batch version of them. So maybe that's why they're different from all my other sets. Because they are a first batch release of the Storm Twins. They are the oldest set of twins I have in here. Among my Storm Twins collection. And then the second set I got was this set. And I can never figure out if this set is a first batch set or was later than that, but I'm convinced these two are a first batch set of Storm Twins, just because they're a little different. There's just something more ethereal about them. They just look so distinct. And then this is the second set. I never unboxed it. I got it for Christmas in 2022 as a late Christmas gift, so if there's any set of Storm Twins I will never ever unbox, it's this one. It's just has such a good box presentation with the posing. They're absolutely stunning in the box. Even though that Naomi does a slightly wonky eyeliner, but I love her anyways. And then my third set I got was an NV Doppel. I know, her headband just doesn't behave that much. I'll have to adjust it when I display her, but this is NV Doppel. I gave them both little high ponies. I know I got them sometime in 2023. I know there is an infamous picture on my community tab somewhere of NMB Main in front of two sets of Storm Twins, trying to decide which one to unbox. But yeah, this is the set that I unboxed. The second set. And while there are some things about them that are a little better, the first thing I noticed is that their nails are slightly more rubbery than NMV Main's nails. Because their nails are like hard plastic. Like, there's no bend to those nails. But these two, their nails are just a bit more rubbery, a bit more bendable, and which I found very interesting. And also, with my unboxing experience with them, her gum was definitely more glued on. It was more of a challenge to get off. And then I saw her face and it was like, her makeup's definitely brighter than Veronica Main's makeup. It was like significantly brighter compared to hers, which I found very fascinating. And now with the Naomi in this set, there's her face. I haven't really noticed as much variation on like the freckles with my Naomi dolls. It isn't like with my Veronica's, where she has very unique freckling, where it's a little thicker and cuter. I know there's so many of them to manage here, but yeah, I guess their kind of part is done. Then the fourth set I got. So these two are the fourth and the fifth sets. So both of these are definitely later batches. It's not like with the first two sets. So this is NNB Triple. This is my hair play Veronica. She's adorable. She is so good at cosplay. But her face is much more similar to Veronica Triples, if anything. And it does. And it definitely is similar to that Veronica as well. Even though I'm sure that difference in hairstyles is a bit distracting right now. And something that I have noticed with this set, since I like to style their hair more often, their hair very similar to NNV Doppel isn't as thick as NNV Main. It just isn't as thick. And you can especially tell with Naomi here. Like, this is the full volume of her hair all taken down. And compared to Main, it's like her hair has nothing on hers. And then with the Veronicas, I could just tell with like how thick the pigtails are even. Or how long it takes to style her hair in pigtails. Her original hairstyle is the best indicator for how thick her hair is. And I'm sure you can see the slightly more bendy nails here again. But yeah, if you have a first batch of Soren twins, you're likely going to have a Veronica with much thicker pigtails that just take longer to style because of the sheer volume of her hair. And I do have pictures of all of my Veronicas with their hair down at some point after washing it, and it's like her hair absolutely takes the cake. Like, I have an old picture of her with her hair down, and she absolutely looks like Rapunzel. Like, it's just long and hanging, and it's like a beautiful thick curtain of darkness behind her. And then you compare that picture with the pictures of her doppelgangers with their hair down. It's like you can just tell from the pictures alone the sheer volume of hair this doll has. Whenever I'm doing their hair, or I had fixed their hair, her hair takes significantly longer because of its thickness. I'm talking about at least 30 minutes per pigtail when styling her hair. Like, it's crazy how thick and beautiful her hair is. It's why she's my favorite. But yeah, there are those two. They're definitely a lot more similar to my second out of box set. And there's that with it. And now let's do an even more interesting comparison. My first mint in box set that I got in Christmas of 2022 versus my most recent mint in box set. So these two sets are very interesting because while the Veronicas do look more similar to each other, it's the Naomis who have the most differences from each other. So something I want you to do is look at their eyebrows. I know, I already talked about the eyebrow thing, but both their brows are in that slightly lower position, like NNV Doppel and NNV Triple. But her brows look shorter than her brows. And her hair looks better than her hair. And it's really interesting to see these differences, considering the gap of time in their releases. Even the way they're posed in the box, it's different. With her posing is a bit more subtle. She has the normal position with her arm slightly up. But then you have her positioning and her arm is just completely up. Like, I don't know if their arms being positioned in box differently really means anything, because I've noticed that with a lot of these dolls that there will be differences in the posing in box, and even their faces. Their faces are only slightly angled downward. But they are facing forward. But their faces are positioned at a more downward angle, which is interesting. Like, that is absolutely interesting to me, how their positioning is just so different. And this is the same set of dolls. Even if you look at the bottom of the box, there's not going to be any difference in like the barcodes underneath it. Well, that was my video going over my many sets of Storm Twins and the variations among them. I hope that you liked it or you found it informative. So goodbye, mysterious audience. I love you, and that was the video.